when it comes to sleeping around, like right now, it's like all hookup culture with everything. So I feel like when it's girls though, like when it's girls sleeping around, it's mostly like it's because we're either like dealing with a heartbreak or trying to get like over a relationship. It's just like to block our like emotions and feelings. But is it the same for guys, or do they just do it just because they want to do it? Like they just want to sleep around and just think it like it's okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So that, oh, that's
I think I'm in the I think I'm in that whole phase at the moment.
all right. Okay. So no, I would say this. Both my experience and then also people that I know from both men and women. Usually the if guys or females, if they do sleep around, all right, or go through their whole phase, there's a likelihood, or there's a likelihood that there's something that happened with their past, in their childhood, with their family, or their mommy issues, daddy issues, and that's why they have attachment issues. So that's why a lot of times men and women do go through the whole phase of sleep around. But I would say this, you know, I would say that for women, I think for women, it's harder for you guys to just sleep around than a guy does. Because I do believe that for guys, like we're more capable of having sex without being emotionally invested into the woman. Like I can have sex with a girl and totally have no emotion with her. But I do notice that for women, before you have sex with a man, most likely that you will have to be emotionally invested into him before you decide to have sex with them, if that makes sense. So I mean, I'm sure, of course, there are always guys and girls like they can both have sex without being emotionally invested. I've do met girls like that, but I do realize for most women, before they have sex with a guy, they have to be emotionally invested into him. And then for guys, we don't really have to be emotionally invested into a girl. Like we just, it's just in our nature to have sex. Like
just stick it in wherever there's a hole.
we just have sex. So uh like I've been in the past where I've been with women where like I don't have no emotions for him. It was just purely just pleasure. It was purely just sex. But I don't know any females like that. That all the females I know in my life, before they choose to have sex with a guy, there has to be some kind of connection, emotional investment. Like if you want to keep it 100, like guys, we can walk outside. Any girl that wants to give us sex, we just happily take it. Like we just happily take it. But for girls, you guys can't do that. Like in order for you to have sex with a guy, there has to be some kind of emotional attachment or investment before you allow him to have sex with you. So yeah, that's so. What was your question again? Like why do what?
It was, yeah. So would it be that you pretty much answered it? Like,
Yeah.
would it be that guys are trying to avoid like emotions and feelings and heartbreaks, like trying to get over those, or they just want to do it like just to do it?
All I'm saying is no. What I would say is most. I mean, it's not. This is my personal opinion. And they like. I think for guys, it's like I know a lot of healthy guys. Like there's nothing happens to them in their life. Like they're completely emotional stable. They're healthy, but but they're single, but they just like having sex. Multiple, they just like to go out there and have sex. But for the girls that I know that are like that have multiple sex partners and just going through the whole phase, just like the men that go through the whole phase. A lot of the girls I know that go through the whole phase, and most of them have gone through some kind of traumatic issue with their relationship with men in the past. I'm trying to think right now if I know a girl that is completely healthy and chooses to have multiple sex partners. I don't really know any girls like that, but I know guys. I have a lot of friends that are completely healthy. They're just having sex, and they're not even thinking about marriage. They're just enjoying their single time, but they're just having multiple sex partners, but they're completely healthy. There's no emotional trauma they're trying to hide or suppress from their past, and that's why they're just going out there and sleeping with multiple women. I would say it's for men is just like we don't need to be emotionally attached to a woman to have sex. But I know it's different for women because you guys are more the emotional gender. So for you guys, you have to be emotionally attached to a man. And for a lot of women that I know that are going through their whole phase, a lot of them have some kind of trauma they're dealing with, and that's why they're sleeping with multiple men. That's my answer to that question. Any of you guys want to jump into that?
the best way to get over one guy is to get under the another.
Talita? Yeah. Talita, any question? Any response to that?
That's not necessarily how I like to do it, but I mean, to each his own. I don't think I'm necessarily the poster child for typical. And to like close off. I do the opposite. I close off. So then I don't want to engage with anybody when I'm going like it. Instead of being like, hey, you know what? I want to sleep around with a whole bunch of people. I just cut everybody off. As far as men goes, I just don't want to deal with you guys, period, for a hot minute. And then once I have processed and dealt with it, then I'm willing to put myself out there and then start over in that sense. But you talked about the having sex and being healthy and stable, but not having emotional attachment.
Yeah.
From my own personal experience, I have found myself in a healthy situation where I have healed and I was fine and there was nothing wrong with me or anything like that. And I've chosen to engage. Now, I personally don't like the sleeping around with multiple partners. So I would rather have, I hate to use this term, but like a fuck buddy, but something that I know, kind of know. It doesn't mean I want to date you, because if I'm choosing you as a FB, that means there's potential for longevity. I'm looking for one thing and one thing only, and I know that that's going to mesh and that's going to work, and that will be that person. And now, and there was no emotional attachment from my, but I did have to cut him off because of the emotional attachment that occurred. And then that awkward conversation of, hey, remember this was an agreement.
It's agreement.
That's why we don't do these things. That's why this is exactly what it is. You're done. Bye. Leave. Kind of, here's your wet wipe and have a nice day.
I actually kind of like agree to what Talita said, because, as much as I'm in my whole phase, like I'm super selective. Like it's really hard for me to just go out there and sleep with anybody, because like I value myself like more, like because like I wouldn't sleep with somebody if they don't like portray how intelligent they are and all of that. That still applies. Like, and I wouldn't really want to just sleep, like jump from one dick to another, so to speak. But like, I would prefer, and I don't really like calling them fuck buddy or friends with benefits. I prefer like a companionship, like somebody that you do have sex with, you do get to like do little dates with, but like you're not in something committed or exclusive. Which means like, for me, that keeps options open. Like if you do go through that initial phase and it goes into something else, then I'm open to it. But at the moment, like, don't tell me don't talk to other guys, don't do, none of that. Like